program will help you get familiar with some of the essential features of Microsoft Word. To begin, when you're opening Word, you will click on the Start menu on the bottom left hand of your screen and look for the Microsoft Word program. If it's not visible, click on All Programs to find it. Then click on Open Up Word and click on a blank document to begin. Or you can double click on the Word icon if it's on your desktop screen and it will open Word. When you open a document, you will see these options on the very top going across the top of your screen. And these are how you will interact with much of what you do in your document. This is called the ribbon, and it contains tabs, groups, and commands. The tabs sit across the top of the ribbon, highlighted here. Each tab contains core tasks you will do in the program. They include File, Home, Insert, Design, Page Layout, References, Mailings, Review, and View. There are also groups. They're sets of related commands displayed in each of the tabs. So, for instance, if you click on the Home tab, you will see the following groups, which are Clipboard, Font, Paragraph, Styles, and Editing. Each group has commands, which is a button, menu, or a box that will allow you to enter information or change information in your document. In the Home tab Font group, some of the commands include font type, font size, bold, italics, underlining, and more. Running across the bottom of your screen is the status bar, and it shows you some information about your document. It shows you how many pages are in your document and what page you currently are on. It shows you how many words are in your document and continues to count as you add them. There is also an option for page view, so it's different ways of looking at your document on the screen. Most often the best way is to keep it on print layout, which is in the middle there. You can also zoom. So you will be allowed to adjust the document from 10% of its original size to 500% to bring it closer or farther away in how you view it. So you can drag that gray bar back and forth or click the plus and minus buttons to zoom in or out. The Quick Access toolbar is located at the very top left of your screen. It contains frequently used commands that are independent of the tabs that are displayed just below it. So you can customize this as well by clicking on the little arrow there and choosing what options you want quick access to. For instance, here we have on the left-hand side the Save button, which is good to click often in your document as you edit it. There is also the arrow that will undo something you've done or the arrow to redo something that you have done. The navigation pane appears on the left side of the screen next to your document below the ribbon, and it helps you navigate long documents. So if you want to search a certain word, you can, without having to scroll through the entire document, you can search for it here and find it. If the navigation pane does not appear when you open the document or at any point, you can click on the View tab. Then in the Show group, click on the box next to navigation pane and it will show up. You can also click on the X on the top right of the navigation pane anytime if you don't want it to be there. Backstage view of a document is accessed from the File tab, and it just contains a bunch of commands that are related to managing your files and customizing the program. We'll talk about some of these options later, such as the Save and Print option. When you are done using this feature, you can click the back arrow to go back to your document. If you have a saved Word document already that you want to open, you'll click on the File menu, then click Open, and you will click Browse to locate your document and then open it. If you have a document you're working on and you want to save it, you have to choose where you want to save it and a name for it. And it's good to also, once you've initially saved it somewhere, to continue to save throughout the editing process, just in case Word accidentally gets closed out or something happens with your computer, you have your document saved. So once you've typed in a few sentences, for instance, of your document, this is a really good time to just save it initially so it will be saved somewhere. So when you save your work for the first time, you need to tell Word where to save the file and what to name it. So you'll click on the File tab, you'll click on Save As, you'll select the location, and then in the file name box type in what you want to name it to also help you easily locate it in the future. Then you'll click on the Save option and you'll be taken back to the document to continue editing it. You'll often find that you need to edit something in your document. So before you can edit the text, you have to select the text you want to modify. And there are several ways that you can use your mouse to select it. Select a single word. One of the easiest ways is just to double click on that word until it's highlighted. If you want to select a sentence, you can hold your finger down on the Control key on your keyboard, then click anywhere in that sentence and the whole sentence will be highlighted. To select a single line just across the screen, you can click in the selected area to the left of the beginning of that line and it will highlight the entire thing. If you want to select a paragraph, a good way is to triple click with your mouse anywhere in the paragraph, or you can click right at the beginning of the paragraph before the first letter or symbol, and then move your mouse without clicking to the very end of the paragraph, hold the Shift key down, and then click again, and it will highlight everything in that paragraph. Another selection option is just to click where you want to start highlighting and just drag your mouse over all of the text you want highlighted and then release the mouse button and it will all be highlighted. If you want to select large amounts of text and you don't want to just drag your mouse across all of it, you can click just before the text, move your mouse to the end of the section, hold down the Shift key and click just like we talked about before. If you want to select all of the text in your entire document, you can click on the Select command at the top right in your Home tab, and then choose Select All, and everything will be highlighted. One way to be editing text is if you find you have typed something that you don't want to be there and you want to delete it. So to delete a specific character, place the cursor, which is your mouse, click to the right of whatever character you want to delete. Then you will press the backspace key on your keyboard and it will delete it. If you want to delete more than just a single character, you can just select the text you want to delete using one of the ways we just previously talked about, and then just press the delete or backspace key and it will get rid of it. If you find that you've ever deleted something and you did not want to do that and you don't want to, of course, retype everything again, you can use those undo arrows that we talked about toward the beginning that are right at the top of the screen, and by clicking on them it will undo whatever you just did and you can redo it or choose whatever you would like. Moving and copying text. First, you will select whatever text you want to move or copy. On the Home tab in the Clipboard group, you can do one of the following. To move the text, click the Cut button. To copy text, click the Copy button. Click in the document where you want to paste the cut or copied text. If you click Cut, it will take the text away from, it will delete it from that section, but copy it so you can paste it somewhere else. But you will click Copy if you want to keep the text where it is and then simply paste it somewhere else as well. So to paste it in another location, you can click on the Home tab and in the Clipboard group, click the Paste button. First, before you do that, you'll want to click where you want it to go and then click Paste. You can also perform these features by right-clicking. So you will click on the right button on your mouse and it will bring up a drop-down menu, and you can see options for copy, cut, and paste, and use it from there as well. Formatting text allows you to change the size, color, and type of font, and you can also add highlights and effects. So these are just the commands in the font group in the order they appear from top left to right. On the left-hand side where it says Times New Roman, that is your font tab. You can change the font of the selected text here by clicking the drop-down. Often, certain professional documents or school documents may often use Times New Roman or another font called Calibri or one called Arial, but you can check with whoever you are sending your document to, and if they have no preferences, you can choose what looks best. And of course, there are many creative fonts you can use if you're creating other documents such as flyers or anything where you have more creativity. So you can put the drop down and preview them and choose the one that you want. To the right of this is the font size. You can change the size of your selected text by clicking on the drop down and choosing a size. You can also click in the box and type in a number. The A's to the right of this allow you to either on the left increase the font size or decrease the font size. If you don't want to click in the box and choose one, you can just keep increasing or decreasing it up and down by clicking those. You can change the case to the right of these options, so it will change your selected text either to all uppercase, lowercase, or other options. There is a clear all formatting button, which is the A with the eraser. If you click on this, it will remove all the formatting you've applied to your text. So if you have made your text purple and you've changed the font and added a highlight and decide you don't want any of that, you can click on the clear all formatting button and it will revert it to its original state. Below this, the B will bold your selected text, the I will place it in italics, the U will underline it, that ABC will put a strike through, and the X's will either lower and shrink your text to make it a subscript or raise and shrink it to be a superscript. You also have text effects options. You can, that A with the glow around it will add shadows or glow to your text. The ABC next to it will add a highlight to your text. So you can click on the drop down and choose what color highlight you would like. And lastly is font color. You can click on the drop down and see all of the options for changing the color of your font. There are also options for formatting paragraphs. So paragraph formatting refers to the layout of the paragraph on the page. The most commonly used paragraph formatting commands are found in the Home tab in the paragraph group. Line spacing, indicated by the red arrow here, allows you to choose the spacing of the lines in your document. Word usually sets up your document initially at single line spacing, and for most documents this is fine, but sometimes you will have a document that is required to have different line spacing, or you may yourself just think the single spacing is too dense and want to change it. A lot of times double spacing will be called for, or there are other features as well which you can look through. The alignment highlighted here has several options as well. By default, when you begin to type, Word aligns all the text to the left margin, and this is usually the one that you will use. But there are other options such as center align, which aligns the text in the center of the left and right margins. So left align is highlighted in blue down here, and then to the right of that is center align. The next one over is right align, and that aligns the text to the right margin. And justify, which adjusts the spacing of text so it aligns to both the left and right margins. But as I said, most often you'll be using the left align. Margins are the blank areas around the edge of your page that are not printed, and no text goes into them. So you can choose how you want your margins to appear. So if you click on the Layout tab in the Page Setup group, click on Margins and select the margin of your choice. from the drop-down, or choose the custom margins option at the bottom of the drop-down list. As you can see, there are several different options for how you want the margins to look. So first line indent will indent the line that you choose by 1/2 inch, and that's usually used when you're starting a new paragraph to differentiate between your paragraphs and show order. So usually when you want to begin a new paragraph, you will press the enter key on your keyboard, and it will start a new paragraph and indent the new line by 1/2 inch. So if that does not happen, you can click to the left of the first line of your paragraph and press the tab button, and it will indent it. There's also paragraph indent, which indents all of the lines in the paragraph as a group. When you want to insert a graphic somewhere into your document, you will just click where you want the picture to be inserted. Click on the Insert tab, click the Pictures button, and from the Insert Picture dialog box that opens, search for whatever picture you're looking for that's saved onto your computer, and select the picture and click the Insert button. This pop-up window will look like the one that we saw when we were discussing saving your document. That's where you'll also look when you want to insert something. Often a picture you insert may be inserted without the formatting that you want. So it may appear into the document and be much too large or much too small. In this case, you can resize the image. So you'll be using sizing handles. So you'll select the image you want to resize, and the sizing handles will appear around the image at the corners and the sides, which are highlighted here. So you'll drag any of the sizing handles towards the center of the image to make it smaller, or drag it away from the center to enlarge it. The important thing to know is that the sizing handles at the corners are the best option to use, because when you drag one of those, they are adjusting both the height and width simultaneously of the image, so that you don't end up with a distorted image that is stretched out. But if you want, you can also use the middle sizing handle, which will only either adjust the size or width. So just keep that in mind when you're using these, because sometimes the image can be distorted if you only adjust the size or the width. When you insert a header or footer, it appears on every page, and headers and footers appear at the top or bottom of your page. The most common ones are page numbers. So while you're working in the main area of a document, the header and footer areas are automatically dimmed, and you can only work in the main document. And then when you double click in the header or footer area, the main document area becomes dim, and you can only work in the header and footer area. So when you want to insert one, click on the Insert tab in the header and footer group and click the header or footer button to open the corresponding menu and select the desired option. In the header area, you can replace any placeholder text with your own. So this second image here is what will appear when you insert a header or footer, and you can then type what you want to appear. When you're finished, double click anywhere in the document area to return to the main document. And you can double click back into the header and footer area if you want to go back and change or add something. If you want to remove a header or a footer at any time, click on the Insert tab, and in the header and footer group, click the header or footer button to open the corresponding menu, and then click Remove Header or Remove Footer. As I mentioned, page numbers are the most common type of header or footer that you will use, and when you insert a page number, you can select the position and the alignment of the numbers on the page. You can also format the numbers to suit your specific needs. So for example, you can choose to have the page numbers start with a value that's other than 1. Normally when you insert page numbers, It will start with 1 on the first page you place it and then count up from there, but you can have other options. To insert a page number, you'll click on the Insert tab, and in the header and footer group, click the page number button. You'll get a drop down of some options of where you want the page numbers to go. And so hover over, so for instance, if you want them to be on the top of the page, hover over that option and it will show you options for if you want it to be on the left, middle, or right side of the page. Once you've selected the option you want, it will appear, and then you can edit that however you like, and then double click somewhere in the document to return to the main document. As you type in your document, you will most likely notice that red, green, or blue lines will appear under certain words or sentences. The red lines shown here mean there's a possible spelling error, and the blue or green lines mean a grammar error. So as you can see, grammar in this picture is spelled incorrectly, so the red lines have appeared. And below that, there is an incorrect 2 there, so the blue lines have appeared. If you want to fix that, or just check the spelling and grammar of your document as a whole, you will click on the Review tab. In the Proofing group, click Spelling and Grammar, and a box will appear giving you options for changes. So as Word goes to each possible spelling or grammar error that it finds, you can either accept the option and change it, or select Ignore if you want to keep it the way it is. So here it's giving you options on what it thinks you may have meant, or what the proper spelling of this word should be. And so you can click the one that you want. You can click Ignore once, or you can click Ignore all if you don't want it to ask again for the remaining instances that are in the document. You can also add the word to the your word dictionary if you don't want it to continue to say that a certain word is wrong, if you know that you 100% want it to be that way. But an important thing to know is that you really should always proofread your document, even though Word offers these suggestions, because many times it may offer suggestions that aren't correct or aren't correct for your document. It's not perfect, so there may be times when the grammar is correct and it just does not think it is, or maybe it doesn't catch something where you could have typed in a word that is spelled correctly, but it's not the word that should be in your sentence. So the spelling and grammar check doesn't fix all errors. It's a great tool to use, but you definitely want to do at least a once over of your document before you need to submit it or do anything further with it. So when you are getting ready to print your document, you can preview it and then print it. So you click on the File tab and then click on that print option, and the screen to the right there will appear. It will show you a preview of the document you're working on. And you can click on the numbers down there, click on the arrows back and forth to go through the document and preview it, and if you see something that you might want to change, you can click the back arrow up there and go back, and then click the File tab to come back here. When everything is all set and you are 100% ready to print your document, you will click on Print to get back here if you went back, or make sure all your settings are correct. Usually the default setting would be to print all pages, and the copies is set to 1, but you can always change that, and you can print however many copies you want. You can also go down the page there and select if you only want a certain amount of pages to print. You can choose to print on both sides instead of one-sided, adjust margins and other things like that. When everything is set and all your settings are the way you want them to, click this print button and your document should begin to print. And like I said before, you can always click that back arrow to go back to the main document. Word also has a help option for various questions you may have. So you can use the Word help menu to get assistance. Some information that you may be looking for may already be installed with Word on the computer, but a lot of the information is accessed online. So you will need an internet connection to access resources that are from office.com. So in the Help tab at the top, click the Help icon. The Word help window will open. You can type your search terms into the search box and then click on one of the options that appears if it suits your need. When you're all done and you're ready to exit Word, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can click on the File tab and then click Close right there, or you can just move your mouse up to the top right-hand corner and click on the red X box to close the program. If you have edited anything and not saved it, Word will ask you if you want to save what you have last done. If you don't, then you can click no, but if you want the last information you edited to be saved, click yes and save your work, and then can close. If you have any questions about this presentation or any other question about Word, please call or email the library to set up a one-on-one virtual tech help appointment with a librarian.